Now look at the board. Okay, here, something untrue about America. So is the first one, is the US an industrial or agricultural country? You know industry, right? Yeah. And agricultural. Can you please? So, an industrial country means they produce machines. Yeah, machines. What else?
Chemistry.
Okay. Chemistry. Or now we are living in AI, right? AI age. So that's why in industrial country, they use robots, right? So that's why we can see a lot of machines there. And how about an agricultural country like India? What people do? Farming. Right, farming. Now tell me, exactly what people produce on a farm?
Vegetable.
Yeah, vegetables, fruits. How about cattle? Buffaloes, chicken, right? So that's why farmers raise buffaloes, chickens for eggs, right? And they can plant trees or vegetables. Now tell me, in your opinion, so between industrial countries and agricultural countries, which one are richer? Industrial or agricultural?
Which one is richer?
Yeah.
I think agriculture.
Why do you think so?
Because
For me, please. For me.
people need to eat really. This is the basic need.
Yeah. Now, tell me. So, do you earn more money if you sell machines or you sell farming products?
Machine.
Yes. Machine. That's right. So most of industrial countries are developed countries. So tell me, for the first questions, do you think the US is industrial or agricultural?
Can I show the boat?
No.
So I choose industrial.
Industrial?
Yeah.
You?
I choose industrial.
Industrial? You?
The same.
The same? Industrial?
The US is industrial.
Okay. So then, when you see the speaker, check it again. If you're right or wrong. Now, living in the US is like in heaven. Oh, wow. Yeah, beautiful country. What a lot of Vietnamese people think so, right?
Everyone does.
Really? Where do you think so?
I haven't been to America, but I used to live in Europe. So I think that where we live everywhere, but we have no money. so everyone is the same.
Okay. And other people. You know the story named American Tree? You heard the story? So that's right now a lot of Vietnamese people dream of living in the US. So now, if you have an opportunity, which country do you want to live in? Vietnam or the US? So, Vietnam?
I choose Vietnam.
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 Neither.
Oh, man. So which one?
Norway.
Norway. Where do you want to live there?
Norway is one of the safest country in the world, and the education and medical treatment almost free for all people. Like people can go for even surgery or emergency in emergency cases for free as well. But the thing is, it's just for the people.
Okay.
And for the migrants, they require at least 7 years to live there and working non-stop and paying tax continuously.
Okay.
So to gain the citizenship. So it's but it's one of the hardest countries to move in the world nowadays.
Nice. Thank you. So this is the first time you come here, right?
Yeah.
What's your name?
My name is Dan. Dan.
Ah, okay. And what do you do for a living?
Now I'm working in McDonald's, the fast food, you know.
So you're the manager there?
No, just a trainer.
Trainer.
Yeah.
A kind of manager.
No, just like a manager is a hire. It's like after my rank is a manager.
From please. Come on, sit down, please. So that's right. When you come here for free, so the next time when I come to Marco.
Well, I can give you the discount code if you want to.
Really? Just discount?
Yeah, this is discount. Like to be honest, that McDonald's is low paying job, to be honest. Well, you know, fast food, because in fast food industrial, that everything will be made by machine, and so people came inside to work. They usually they don't require any skills. Like when you are newbie, you come inside, the people they will train you from the start. Just follow the procedure. Because even you make a French fry or fried chicken or making burgers, you already have a machine. They do it for you. The only thing that you do is just prepping, is preparing ingredients, like chopping onions, cutting tomatoes, cutting cucumbers, and also sometimes have to clean the machine as well.
Okay, nice.
The other thing is fast food that require you speed. Yeah. So it's not many people they can handle with the fast. They will keep up with the pace.
Okay. So next time we have any topics about food, so you can be the speaker.
Well, the thing is, I'm not interested in fast food, to be honest. Like because people love it because it's trendy. But to be honest with me, I work in fast food and I look at them like 8 hours or 10 hours straight, and I was like, no. Because when you look at it every day, every single day.
So that's right now you see fast food every day. So you just like fast food.
Yeah.
And maybe on another day you work in the back and you don't mind money. No, right?
It's like yeah, because food you can change, but money is is one of the hardest things to change. You'll find other things to replace it.
Okay. Nice. Now, so the next question is, Vietnamese people think American people make a lot of money. Why? Is it true? Of course. What a mess. Now, and American people think Vietnam is a poor country.
No, like people they just come to the America or Europe. You know, like they still because all the people they don't have much change to travel around, and you know in this world is in more than 200 countries. So some like a lot of people they still not know where is Vietnam, and people thought that it still have a war in here. And so yeah, like just especially America, like people they just a country they are so big and they have anything in the world. So and most of people they don't know much about geography. So that's why the only thing they know is from the Vietnam War.
So that's why maybe they think Vietnam is a kind of rural area
Yeah.
where there are a lot of tribes, right? Tribal village. No. And let's talk about dental service. Common diseases are very cheap or free in the US. No. For example, if you cut your finger, and then you go to the hospital, so you just pay little money. Really? Really? So in Vietnam, what do you think about in Vietnam? Is it true? In Vietnam, right? Not cheap. So when you get sick, you want to go to the US for cures. Okay, no. And there is no corruption in the US. No corruption.
Yep.
So the police want to catch you. And then you give them some money, you go. This is a kind of common, popular corruption in Vietnam, right? How about in the US?
It's still have. It's still have.
You are under arrest. Hey, I have money! And they let you go.
Well, it's just a kind. What you say? It's just a kind of corruption. Like corruption, it has many. It exists in many different types. For example, I still remember that the news that I read in newspaper. Like no, to be honest, it's from my mom. Like she read newspaper and she told me about it, and it was about the a famous director in a U.S. company in the U.S. and he used money and his relationship to took his kids to the good school, good college in the past. I don't know now, but it was in 2011. I'm not sure about the year, but I think this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
use
why-
by relationship also relationship is also a kind of
So that's why we can say bad things will happen around the world, right? And how are you now? Have you ever heard about if you want to get a good job in a company, you have to pay money for the managers. Have you heard that?
Yes,
A lot.
in my
Company?
no, in my country town. Yeah, if you want to go to the bank, work in the bank, like a just position of reception. Yeah, you have to pay maybe 50 million
Okay.
for the director.
So that's why in Vietnam, most of people think if you want to get a good job, right, good job, nothing is free. Even you are talented. And then they think if you are talented, you can get a good job in the US easily. Many people think so. So that's why it's safer in the US than in Vietnam. A lot of people say so. So that's why I heard a lot of good things about the US. And every time we talk about Vietnam, Vietnamese people say, no. It's dirty, it's noisy.
The passport is suck as well.
Yeah. Lots of criminals. So why Vietnamese people say bad things about Vietnam, their country? Sounds strange, right? So what do you think about this? When I talk to some Americans, they say, you know, gangs in the US. There's a lot of gangs, guns. And one guy, he's my colleague, right? So he said one day he was stuck in, between the gangs battle. At that time he was private. And two groups of people with guns shooting together, right? Each other. Wow. Have you seen it in Vietnam?
No.
So that's why in Vietnam, if someone shouts, warm, a lot of people come to see.
Yeah. What's it like?
Back and proper.
Yeah.
Where? Right?
I still have memories in the Netherlands in 2019. We had a shooting in the city in the central of the Netherlands. It's called Utrecht. And the guy, he went to the tram. You know tram? It's just like a surface train. So the guy's from Turkey, like he just screaming and he took a rifle from the backpack and just shoot. And like at that time that my school has an excursion in the city, and and to be honest, that why in after it happens about 1 hour. So after 1 hour that my parents from Vietnam called me and said, hey, he had a shooting. Are you okay? I said, what? This is why people in Vietnam they catch the news so fast. And I was on the scene and I didn't know what is happening. Why people in Vietnam they know everything. They see that they know everything in the world.
So that's why some young Vietnamese people wish to live in the US because they can't buy guns.
In the Netherlands, you can buy the gun, but the thing is, it's just limited. Like even you go to the shop, you go to the store, and you want to touch the gun, you must show the owner the license and also certificate that you are not, say that your mental health is normal and you have no criminal record before. You can touch the gun. But the thing is, the sword or the spear or bow and arrow and the other things, you can still take it. Expect by your hand. What?
But actually, even you have a license, but you cannot buy all kinds of guns. Usually the small one.
Yeah.
For your maybe self-protection, right? But robbers have the bigger ones. Now, so 8 every transaction, transaction.
Yeah.
And business in the US is transparent. Transparent?
Yeah.
Clear.
Safe.
Clear.
Yeah. Everyone can see it.
And people pay for taxes properly and happily. Happily. Really?
Tax inflation everywhere in the world, even Vietnam, the tax is only 11% because it's still.
So how about in Vietnam? Do you want to pay a lot of taxes? No. Now, and hello, James.
Hello.
Mhm.
I see you've done some changes.
Yeah. Now let's share your knowledge about the U.S.
I don't know anything. How are you? How are you? Good, good, good. Glasses. I'm blind. Yeah, my glasses. So you want to know about America, right? Well, if I remember, the first question is about agriculture and industry. Let's see.
It's on the board.
It's on the board, bro. Now I have my glasses on. What do you think is more, agriculture or the industry, or just industries in itself in America?
Well, I think it's U.S. They tend to be more industrial.
Right.
You know, the services. Like I'm working for McDonald's.
Okay.
It's also considered as industrial,
Yes.
and tourism also industrial.
Right.
Aviation, maritime, and power.
But McDonald's, if you own a McDonald's, you can only buy food from McDonald's. Like their potatoes are special, the way they're made,
Yeah.
and what's put on them as they're processed through. That's why McDonald's French fries taste different than most other French fries, and their potato is different. And most of their potatoes are from Idaho. The Midwest and the West are a lot of farming. America is 47% agriculture, 77% industrial. Like California produces 3/4 of agriculture. Producing so much agriculture, they don't pay a lot to pick everything. So where do you think they get most of the people to pick the farming? Do you think they're from America or another country? What country do you think most of the pickers, not farmers, not the people who own the farm, the people who pick everything?
New Zealand or Australia.
Mexico.
Mexico.
Because it's the next,
Mexico.
right, so you can get work visas very easy from Mexico. I don't want to turn it political, but everything in America is political, just like in every other country. Right now, over the last 3 years with the new president, they let everybody in. Because they say, you need people to cut our grass and wash our dishes, which to me sounds a little racist, but the Americans, we have, probably 400 to 300,000 homeless all over America. And to think that some of those people might not want to do it doesn't sound right. Do you know what agriculture is?
Yes.
What do you think is the biggest producer of agriculture? What do they make the most in America? Do you have an idea?
They blend like a vegetable or
Like what is produced most from agriculture? Whether it's meats or vegetables?
vegetable. Vegetable.
Vegetables. Chicken. When you go to California, I lived in a small town in California where Purdue had their factory, Purdue Chicken. and I went to take a tour of their facility. I will never do that again. They just line them up, hundreds of thousands of chickens like per month. The difference between agriculture and Vietnam, what do you think?
Maybe the farmer use a lot machine in the US. Use a lot of machine to the high productivity.
Or quality. You think this is where America fakes you out. I'll give you an example. Eggs in America. You know what the FDA is?
Mm-hmm.
It's about they control the food. Like McDonald's don't have that here, but in America they have to go and have inspections all the time. Here they don't.
Okay, sometimes.
It's sometimes. It depends how much you pay the inspector. Same as in America, but more money to pay that inspector than here. So like eggs in America, they have to be cleaned. That's why they have to be refrigerated. Like here, you buy eggs, and you don't have to put in the refrigerator. You know what the refrigerator is, right? Refrigerator is the bottom part, and then the freezer is on the top part, or it can be on bottom and top. But the refrigerator, because here you call it freezer, I believe. It's a refrigerator with a freezer. Refrigerator. So you're not freezing it in a refrigerator, right? So freezer would be different. I just want to clarify that. So the egg, to me, that's weird. Like, why do you have to clean the shells of the eggs and not do it here? And the eggs taste better here. Definitely, I like the eggs not in the refrigerator, because when you make the egg and it's cold, it cooks differently. So to me, the eggs here way better. But that's just one little example of controlling the people. You know, if they make a law to control how you serve your food, when you serve your food. So there's a lot of controls about food. Like you travel around the world and it'll be like they grade the restaurants. I don't see that here. How I grade a restaurant in Vietnam is if there's a lot of people that are Vietnamese eating at that restaurant, it must be good. Or it has to have prices. Because when I first moved here, if it don't have price, I get charged a foreigner fee. So I like to know what I'm spending when I eat. So that's a big difference. But if there's a lot of people, that's how I tend to see if the food is good here. Any questions about horticulture or agriculture, industrial?
Wait, but U.S. is also one of the most corn producing in the world.
In Nebraska and Iowa, the Midwest, there's a lot of corn. Some people say, do you think corn is a vegetable?
Yeah, because it's not animal product.
I think it's more like I don't see it fine because you grain it up and you can make stuff from it. So I find it more like flour, and that's corn have no nutritional value.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you eat corn, it doesn't help your body at all. It's more like a grain, you know, like wheat, you know, flour. So I find, to me, but in America they say it's a vegetable. So I don't know why when you grind it up to make tortillas and bread and different things.
Yeah, like in in McDonald's Vietnam, but I don't know in US that we still use the they call the corn, but they took it's only seed and soaked with water. So they call this a sweet corn.
Sweet corn, okay.
So it's really that you this is a corn and they have a tool that is turned around and all of the seed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then sweet corn a little different than it's how you process it, how you make it a little bit.
Yeah, and onion. We also have the one is called dehydrated onion.
Dehydrated onion.
So it's like fry and they just keep it for a long time.
Because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
right, than regular onion. If you have to have onions every day, it's more money, but if you have, they can never go bad.
Yeah.
So, but McDonald's, they get you, man, because if you're owner of McDonald's, you don't own McDonald's, you're just
Worker.
you have their name. But McDonald's, you can't buy anything. You can't even buy toilet paper outside of McDonald's. So they charge higher prices for the stores. All right, number 2. Living in the U.S. is like in heaven. Do you think if you live in America, it's like heaven?
No.
Is that what you think of when you hear?
No, I don't think so. No, I think that living in the US is very pressure.
A lot of pressure, yes. Would you prefer to visit or live in America?
I want to visit.
Visit. Why would you not want to live in America?
Because I don't want to live far from my house.
Okay. All right. I would say living in America is like purgatory. You're not going to hell. You're not in heaven. You're just living one day at a time trying to pay your bills. And which I'll go in, 2 and 3 kind of go into it. American people make a lot of money. What is a lot of money? That's the question. Like a lot of money where you never have to worry about bills. Only probably 20% of America is that. Only 1% of America are millionaires. An average income of 2 people is about $72,000 a year. So that's almost like you're only making $35,000 a year per person. And if you have a kid, that's not a lot of money. And that's the average salary. But like I said, they call them the 1%ers. You know, millionaires and billionaires. There's not many of them. America, what do you think of America when you hear America? First thing don't think, just say it. What do you think of America?
Yeah, first I think America is a beautiful country. Yes, yeah. And on the social media, I see in the US they have a lot of
Guns?
guns, weapons. Each people can buy and use in every child everywhere. So it's very dangerous.
Funny you say that. This week I teach grade 6. Mm-hmm. And one kid come up to me, I have my video it. Teacher, why so many guns in America? I said because America, you can go and make a business and sell as much as you can and make as much money as you can. And I always tell them, I told him, just like there are a lot of guns, but the people that own a lot of the guns, do you think they're bad people or good people? I'll go you come in later. Good people or bad people that own a lot of guns?
I think it depends on the purpose of use people, because someone want to own a gun because they want to protect themselves.
Right.
So
Or for sport. You know, they go hunting or they practice. Like my brother in Florida owned probably 20 guns. Rifles, pistols. But he go to the shooting range and just shoot targets. He likes the power of it. I have no guns. You don't want to give me a gun.
I wonder, is it expensive for a gun?
You can get a cheap gun for like $200-300, like, but very little. Like you take it, you unfold it and make it on a 3D printer. But you have guns that are like $200-300, and you have guns that are hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the type of gun. But I always say guns don't kill anybody. If I have a gun and I put it down and I leave it there, it will never kill anybody. It's the person, it's the crazy people who pick it up. You have to pull the trigger. Our government thinks it's the guns. But we have more murders with knives than guns. So do we now have to get rid of all the knives? Right? So it's not the weapon, it's the person holding the weapon. Like my father, yeah, it's for protection. And he would shoot, ducks and stuff for hunting. And but that's the biggest one is guns, which is a very big industry. What do you think? Don't think, just say it about America.
I think America is a big country. America has many company about technology.
Technology. Most of the technology companies they were in California, but now California, like so bad, you need a gun to go there. They move out because California charges a lot of taxes and they make it hard for companies to exist because they allow crime and homelessness and drug use. So they're all moving to Texas or Florida where you pay less taxes and they make more money and they have, you can walk into a store without stepping over homeless people or poop. They have apps in California where everybody poop. You know what poop means? I'm trying to be nice. Go to the toilet. They do it in the street. The government say we can't do anything. But 2 months ago, the governor cleaned up San Francisco for the president of China, and everybody's like, whoa, look how clean it is now. All the homeless, they moved the homeless, they cleaned the moment the Chinese, was cheap, he leave, all the homeless come back, and all the people that live there that pay high taxes are upset about it. So is living in America like heaven? If you're the 1%er, yes. If you're a normal person, living in America, very stressful. You have to work probably minimum 8 to 12 hours per day, maybe 150 hours a month just to pay your bills. That's not to go out, not to go on vacation, not to do anything. It's just to pay your bills. So America is beautiful. America is big. Does anybody know how many people live in America?
380 million.
200. Well, after the new president, now it's about 260 million. And 1% of that live in heaven. The other, the other percentage, purgatory. But America, you have the opportunity to make more money. Sometimes depends on you. If you go to America, you gotta have a good idea. As a foreigner, it will be easier for you to get benefits from our government. As a citizen, it is much harder for us to do anything. They give, because America, a lot of people from all over the world. So it's a little easier. If I was a foreigner, I would go to America right now and open a business because they give you money. But because of that, there's a lot of crime. American people, all right. What do you think American people think Vietnam is a poor country? I don't. Their GDP is going up every year. There's poor in Vietnam, there's rich in Vietnam. Just like America, there's poor in America and there's rich. I've been to 45 countries and there's poor in every country I've been to and rich in every country. So as I can only speak for myself, I do not think the country is poor. I just think it's harder for you to live because of the money that you can make here. If you have money already, I think in Vietnam, it's easier. I think if you don't have money in Vietnam, you're like living in purgatory. You're working to pay and live. But you don't have to work as much in Vietnam. You have more time to have some beers. Like a beer here, 50 cents. A beer in America is like $6 to $7. So you're working a lot and giving a lot.
But actually, before you came here, so what you thought about Vietnam?
I didn't know much. I spoke to my brother's wife, who's Vietnamese, but she moved out when she was like 6. She don't have much information. I look up a lot of YouTube videos, and as far as I knew, Vietnam was a lot of countryside, you know, a lot of mountains. But doing research about Ho Chi Minh, that's the business part, and Hanoi was, you make less money in Hanoi than you do in Ho Chi Minh. So that's why I came to Ho Chi Minh. But I did not know much. I didn't do too much. I'm the type of person, I look up a little stuff, but I want to be surprised every time I see something new. It makes life a little bit more fun than knowing everything. When you try to know everything, or you make a schedule, I gotta do this, you miss a lot of stuff. So as far as where I thought, I didn't think it was a poor country.
How long have you been in Vietnam?
Almost 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So, can I ask a question?
Yeah, I want you to ask me questions. I want you to practice English.
Because I'm a new person here.
Okay.
The first time to come. So I think about the freedom. So you stay here. You have been living here for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You have some knowledge and some understanding about Vietnam. So I want to know more about your feeling about freedom. So freedom in Vietnam.
Well, I can only tell you, people I speak to that are Vietnamese about freedom think different about foreigners who are visiting about freedom. I think I have more freedom in Vietnam than America. I don't have to walk down the street and I see police everywhere, police cars following you. Not that that's bad, but if you're not doing anything wrong, it shouldn't bother you. But it's still that one police officer could be bad and get you in trouble. And they're everywhere. There's cameras everywhere. Here, they tend to leave you alone unless it's very bad. For foreigners, I don't know about the Vietnamese. I understand a lot of people that I know that own businesses have to pay some people to keep that business. To the police, not to mafia, to the police. So I know people that had to stop having their cafe because they just want more and more, which happens in America. It's just that you have to pay mafia or gang members in America. The police here will just shut you down. In America, they'll kill you, burn your place down. If you don't listen, kidnap your child. There's 250 million people. It only takes 2% of that 250 that are really bad to mess it up for everybody else. But I think my freedom, I have a little bit more here. And I have more time to live my life. That's more important to me. Like in America, you're always working 6-7 days a week. You have 2 jobs, 3 jobs. You work a full-time, you work 2 part-time jobs. So you're constantly working. Traveling the world, in Europe, let's say, they give you 2 weeks holiday. In America, you don't even want to take 2 days because you might get fired. So a lot of stress on you every day of making sure, you pay your rent, because here my rent includes cable and Wi-Fi and stuff like that. In America, each thing is separate and each thing is very expensive. So it's very stressful.
Not like this.
People, well, we'll go to number 9, but I'm going to correct number 9 really fast because let's get rid of this hook. That's it. That was a G in the English. 9 straight line. If you have that little, that's European
Yeah.
and not English. You have that little hook, make it look like a G. When you have a 9, it's just a straight line.
Okay.
So I have a little, that's my little thing.
That's Vietnamese people think about American.
People in the U.S. work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. No. No. I mean, if you work 8 hours, you still have to take a 30-minute lunch and 2 15-minute breaks. So that means you're at work for at least 9 and only getting paid for 8. But most people work about 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. And like I said, you get multiple jobs, you're working 7 days a week.
It's harsher than I think.
Very, very hard. Yeah, people, I have a Vietnamese friend here. She moved to America last year. She came back and said, I'm not going back there. Because there is an opportunity, but it's a very small window. You know, if you go there with nothing, it's very hard to make something. You hear those stories all the time, but that may only be 2%. You only hear about those people. Other than that, it's very hard. You have to have a good idea. You have to go into some place with some savings. So it's going to take you time to adjust. You know what adjust mean? Take time to feel comfortable where you're living. So by that time, it's 2 years. And now you're still making the same money, and after that 2 years or 1 year, you're like, oh man, I'm tired, I'm not going back home. Because you have to work so much. And then most jobs, I've seen it when I read it, where is it about retiring and stuff. Where was it?
This one?
The pensions. Mm-hmm. If my father was a fireman. So he worked for a city or the government. So his pension very good after he retired. But if you don't work for government or a very rich company, probably McDonald's have 401k. I don't know if you have that, and you know what 401k is? A company will match. So if I work in a place for 10 years and they take $10 a week out of my paycheck, and after 10 years I have $4,000, they'll match it when you retire and give you a total of $8,000. I just make a small number. A lot of people have bigger numbers, like 40, 50,000. So if you have a 401 from a company, you should be okay. But most people don't have pensions. They have Social Security. You work your whole life and put money into Social Security, and you can make as much as $300 a month or $120 a month. And that's what you get. Then maybe you have Medicare. If you're old, you get Medicare, they maybe give you another $100. So now you have to live on, you're old and you have to live maybe, I'll say $400 or $500 a month, which is impossible to do unless you have family. So I don't know the percentage of people that have pensions, but unless you work for government or a city, like fireman, police officer, army, politician, you'll have a pretty good pension.
So that's where elderly people in the U.S. With welfares and a carefree life?
Right, so they'll go on welfare. When they retire, welfare will give you some money. You go on food stamps. They'll give you about $100 a month for food, which is nothing. Right now, people in America are eating cereal for dinner because food is so expensive. They're running out of food in America. They run out of baby formula in America. So there's a lot of issues right now in America. That's why another reason why I moved to Vietnam, because with our new president, I left. Thank God I did. Does anybody have any questions about work or anything about America that I will try? The dental service. I went and had my teeth cleaned here it costs me $20, $18. I have my teeth cleaned in America with no insurance, $300.
Wow.
Maybe $250. If you have insurance, it'll cost you like $50. But most people don't have insurance. It's too expensive. If you don't have a job that gives you insurance, then you have to pay for outside insurance. It's about $2,000 to $3,000 a month, and your insurance is really not even very good. You have to pay a lot, a deductible. You know what a deductible is?
Yeah.
So you have insurance, but the insurance doesn't start giving you money until you pay the deductible, which could be $400, $20. So you still have to pay the first initial, and then they will pay the rest. But most people don't have it, especially, and a lot of people who have benefits doesn't include dental. It's just, basic, like if you have to go to the hospital.
Basic healthcare.
Basic. When I say basic, it's basic. When I was younger, I pulled my own teeth out. That's why I have no teeth in the back of my mouth. Too expensive. I'm a single guy. The money I have, I'm not going to spend $400 to pull a little bit of Jack Daniels and you pull it out. Right? Make sure you don't feel it, and it's okay. I mean, you just for 3 days, but I save money, but I lose teeth. The tooth fairy. No, there's no tooth fairy. So dental service, not very good. Common diseases. I don't think diseases are pretty bad in America. The healthcare might be horrible as far as, having it, or I got the flu. You know what the flu is? And I wouldn't go to the hospital for like 2 weeks. I was almost dying. I'd rather die. My friend take me there. I was in the hospital for 3 hours. I lay on a bed. They give me IV. My bill was $10,000. For the flu. That's why I said just kill me. Now, if I have insurance, it might cost me $40 for a deductible, or maybe $100. But just to lay on the bed was $2,000 for 3 hours. Most expensive bed I ever laid on, and it wasn't even comfortable. And it was very small. So, as far as that diseases, you have your HIV and stuff like that. The biggest disease in America is diabetes, because 60% of America is fat. Because we don't have time to go home and eat. You have to eat fast food all the time. You don't have time. I have 20 minutes, 30 minutes for lunch. You go to Taco Bell, McDonald's, one of the worst. I like McDonald's. I know McDonald's okay. It depends what you get at McDonald's, But your ice cream never works. Never works.
The machine
never works. Never works. If you go all over America, can I get ice cream cone? No, it's not working.
Yeah.
So McDonald's have to do something about their ice cream. But McDonald's, a Big Mac, a Coke, and fry. What is that? Number one?
Yeah.
Number one right now, $18 in America.
Oh, nearly 20.
For number one, what is it here? $4?
That's the last side. That's the last side, right? Or medium side.
No, normal.
No, normal now.
No extra large. Just a number one.
So the medium one now is 99K for 100.
Yeah, so that's like $4.60, and in America it's $18. Because don't want to go back to the president again, but when he became president, he closed all our gas lines, and we don't make our gas anymore. So what happens? We have to buy gas from Saudi Arabia. Now, if our truckers would take $100 to fill their truck, it's now $300. So to deliver it, more money. So then they charge the company more money, and that's why it's $18 for a Big Mac and French fry. But diseases, I would say diabetes is probably the biggest. Vietnam, just so you know, the skinniest country in the world. So good for that.
Well,
you could Google it if you like. But
Wow.
Vietnam have the skinniest population.
yeah. I would.
Well, hey, us 1%ers, You work at McDonald's, man. You eat too many Happy Meals. But majority of the people in Vietnam are skinny. But the food, everywhere you go, I mean, there's hundreds of fast food. Like I say, you work so much, you don't have time to go. You have 2 kids, you're picking them up, dropping them off. You don't have time to really prepare a meal. They get frozen chicken nuggets, put them in the oven, and dip them in a sauce that has so much sugar in it, right? So that's how everybody works in America, so they grow up to be fat.
But you know, the matter of fact is, a lot of Vietnamese people like fast food, but they don't have enough money.
Right. It's like maybe once a month kind of treat. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like in day before, I used to live in Europe, but
Where in Europe?
in the Netherlands.
Okay, been there
No.
7 times.
Yeah. So the junk food is freaking cheap. Only a meal, only $2. Say only $2.
Yeah.
But it's like compared to the working hour, it's considered as a cheap. But in Vietnam, junk food is so expensive.
And it's not even looked at. Like they don't check if it's healthy or not. Like, you know, so that's. But once again, you don't make. You know, even though America, we don't have a lot of money. I mean, like California just started paying their fast food people $18 an hour. In California, it's minimum wage now. For if you work at McDonald's, you will make $18 an hour. And everybody goes, "Oh, $18, that's a lot of money." You're still poor, you can't live in California. If you work 40 hours a week at $18 and then they take 40% of taxes out, you're still only making $300 a week. Times 4, that's $1,200. Your rent's $2,000. So now, because they're going to pay more money, now McDonald's has to charge more money on their meal. So probably within the next 2 weeks in California, it'll be $20 for a number one. Politicians don't see that. They're like, "Oh, we're going to give you more money," but then the companies have to charge more money, and then you have less money. The politicians don't see that. They're like, "Oh, no, it's going to help them." No, it's not. It's not going to help you. Now you got to spend more on gas, more on food, right?
So that's where sometimes we say being poor may be a good idea because we can keep fit.
Well, if you're poor, you have to rely on the government. And the government is stupid.
Really?
Very stupid. Well, just think about it. They think it's smart to give people more money even though the companies have to raise their prices. So now more people spend more money.
But Vietnamese people think the American government offer a lot of good policies for people.
They might offer some policies, but you don't want to you want to rely on yourself. You don't want to rely on a policy that a 90-year-old man just made that doesn't understand the concept. Do you know what concept means? The idea of what's going on. Like the president, again, I go on. He goes and he on TV with an ice cream cone. And 3 years ago, he goes to this ice cream place and it had prices. And an ice cream cone was $1.40. He went back to the same ice cream place 3 years later. The ice cream cone now $3.80. Because of all his regulations for gas and it make everything more, so people can't get ice cream, and now you can't afford your rent for your store. So now small businesses are losing. Small businesses are the key to the economy of America, not the 1% companies. It's the small companies, and he's making them go away. So. And I believe it's because of corruption. Because there's no corruption, and there's all corrupt. America has so much corruption. Probably more corruption than any other country, other than the Ukraine. Ukraine at one point was the most corrupt country in the world almost. or in the top three. So corruption in every government, no matter what, but in America, you can see it more. You know, Christo said to you during COVID, you can't go out and eat at this restaurant. And then on the news, you have the governor eating out at the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Or you can't go and get your hair done, but then you have somebody like Nancy Pelosi high in government calling the owner up saying, open your hair salon. So they're hypocrites.
Yeah.
So you can't believe everything they do help you a little, but never, my point, don't rely on the government. Rely on yourself, on how hard you work and how smart you are. Mm-hmm. And you'll figure it out. And hopefully you make a lot of money. What do you think is the most important one there? 1 through 10. What do you think? 1 through 10. Which one do you think is?
So I run number 7.
Like,
so that means if you work hard, so you can get more money.
Of course, if you work more, I always say work smart, not hard. But you still have to work hard at anything you do. I believe if you stay at home all the time, you have less opportunity. If you work hard, you'll have a better chance to have an opportunity. Don't know if it's going to happen, but you'll have a better chance, and that's all you need is a chance. But if you stay at home and play video games all day like the kids do now, you know, they don't even know how to wash a dish. Mm-hmm. So you got to learn to teach. Like when I was 10, my dad made me have a paper route. I wake up very early in the morning and throw papers to homes when I was 10. So I believe that helped me to work hard. So you have to work hard, work smart, but try your best in everything you do. And normally, good things will happen. Good things will happen. You might not become rich. Maybe you get a better job and you're a little bit more comfortable. You know, and it depends how you spend your money. Do you want to live in a nice house, drive a nice car, or do you want to live in a house it's okay in a car that works, and you save a lot of money? Like I'm a minimalist. You know what a minimalist is? Mm-hmm. Somebody who don't need a lot. I'm fine living in a little apartment because I'd rather use that money to save and go see the world. You know, that's my opinion. The more you see in the world, the more you get more education from traveling than you do in college. Like in America, college about $50,000 a year. So by the time you leave college, you owe $200,000. It normally takes, if you're a doctor, you owe a little bit more. It takes about 10 years for a doctor to pay off his schooling. It normally takes about 18 years for a normal college kid to pay off his tuition. So I don't know if that's smart. You know, unless you're a doctor, a lawyer, something that you know you're going to make a lot of money in, I think it's smart. But if you're going for philosophy, you know what philosophy is? Where there's no jobs for, nobody's hiring for philosophy. You've wasted $200,000 and you're now working at Starbucks. You'll never pay it off. So you'll be in debt for the rest of your life.
So what you think about this opinion? So some Vietnamese people think, so even they work really hard for their whole life, but they can't get a house or even a car here. But after a few years working in the US, they can get a small house and a car, for example. So that's why they say it is easier for them, right?
Do they keep the house? That's important. You can get the house, but how long do you keep the house for? Right?
Usually when in the US and Europe, when you buy a house, they not let you pay all immediately. You have to pay like in 10
a mortgage.
Years,
yeah, you pay a mortgage.
In 10 years.
A 20-year mortgage, a 40-year mortgage. Right. But a lot of time, now you lose your job. Your job burned down. Mm-hmm. And you're 52 years old, my age. I'm 52. And you're 52 and you've been doing one job your whole life. And now they're not that burned down, nobody hiring. How do you pay your mortgage? I listen to a lot of billionaires, and one billionaire says the worst thing to do is to buy a house. That money that you use to buy the house, you save it, you put it in a fund, and that $30,000, $40,000 in a 5-year fund, now you'll have about $60,000 to invest in a business and make money, and when you become more rich, you buy a little house. So that's what a lot of billionaires say.
So Elon Musk told you that, right?
Who?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. No, not Elon Musk. I forget the guy's name though. He does. He buys properties. He sells houses and buys property to build businesses, and he says it's the worst thing to do. And that's his business. Because interest rates go up. The federal tax interest rate goes up. Now your mortgage that was $200 or $2,800 a month, now it's $4,200 a month. Can you still afford that? Now you have to get another loan from the bank to pay your mortgage. Now your mortgage goes up because you had to borrow money. So you're borrowing from one place to give back to the same place. I have to pay my bank for the mortgage, but I can't afford it, so I'm going to go to my bank, ask them to give me more money to give them back the money, and then they charge me even more interest. So I don't know if that's too smart. In my mind, it's not. Now, if you buy property, different. You know, maybe you buy a apartment building that has 20 apartments, people rent it, and then you can make money off that. But as far as houses, I wouldn't buy a house. And a lot of people can't afford a house anymore in America right now. They're all living home with their mom and dads right now. It's too much money.
And another opinion, number 8.
Number 8. Every transaction or business in the U.S. is transparent. No. You can get a LLC. That when you buy a company, you get an LLC, and that's a way to write off money. I'll bring it up again. The president's son has 17 LLCs. So every time he gets money from China or Romania or Russia, he puts it into an LLC and then pays his Uncle Jim. Then Uncle Jim pays his granddaughter that's 5 years old. You know, so it's very easy to hide your transactions. So people pay for taxes properly and happily. I've never heard anybody in civilization say, I'm happy for paying taxes. That's one thing I've never heard. Just like I've never heard somebody say, hit me in the head with a hammer. Because I'd rather get that than pay taxes. Because, for instance, our president, I can only say it because he's our president now. I pay taxes. And he's giving it all to the Ukraine. And he's giving it all to the illegal migrants that are entering our country illegally, putting them up in hotels, if you right now went to Mexico and crossed the border, you get a phone, you get a hotel room, you get $4,000 a month, you get free medical, you can have a sex change, they give you cars and motorbikes. So right now, if I was a foreigner, I'd be skipping across the border because they're giving you everything.
Yeah, I'm that too as well.
But who's paying for it? My taxes. Now, they're finding out, because all these people are coming across the border, that all these countries like Venezuela, Mexico, they're emptying their jails. And prisoners and bad people are coming across. And our politicians have laws where if you get arrested, they let you out the next day, no bond, no bail, and then you go out and kill somebody else. So, but my taxes go to all that, which I'm not happy about. What else?
So that's where you say.
I've never heard anybody say I'm happy with taxes.
So maybe some viewers say you're breaking their dreams.
No, I'm telling you reality. I said you can make it. You just have to work very hard, and for the next 2 or 3 years, you're gonna have to prepare yourself to work very hard, and then hopefully you get lucky enough, or you fall into a position to make money. Everybody different. You might go there and love it. You might go there and hate it. It's up to you. You always have to be careful. Like when I walk in Vietnam, the only thing I have to worry about is holding my phone out so nobody grab it. You know, in America, you gotta always be aware of your surroundings because it's so expensive and there's a lot of homeless, crazy people. Venice Beach, they just have video, go on YouTube, they have a naked woman with a club with spikes fighting another woman. So you just always, there are drugs. Yeah. Obviously they're on heroin or meth or something, but that's everywhere. A girl in Georgia jogging the other day, and a illegal immigrant who was arrested in New York, and New York let him go, just killed her. So you just gotta be aware of your surroundings. You might go and never get in trouble. My dad always said, if you're out after midnight, you're gonna get in trouble. But as far as, I don't want to ruin your dreams. Dreams do come true. That's why people play the lottery, right? I just want you to be ready for it. I just tutored a kid. He went to school this year in Massachusetts, and he was like, what's going to be the biggest problem for me? And I said, probably how Americans think. Can a man have a baby?
Can a man have a baby?
Yeah, can a man have a baby?
I don't really understand.
Can a man have a baby?
That's the question. Can a man? Can I give birth?
Oh, can a man give birth? Not in America. In America, a man can give birth, and if you think he can't, you're racist, and you won't be able to find a job if you put it on social media. Because they think men can have babies. So there are crazy people. It's just a crazy time. Difference between America now is more about social media than a lot of people try to bring you down because they have nothing better to do. They're sitting on their couch eating popcorn thinking, let me tweet this guy and maybe I get a rally and we protest this home and he loses his job. And then you lose your job because nobody wants to say, no, you can't have. If you say you can't, a man can have a baby, it's a big problem. But that, I say that, so I told him that. I said, a lot of it is woke. You have to be careful what you say. And I just spoke to him. He messaged me the other day. He said, Teacher Jeff, oh my God. He goes, the way people think here are crazy. I said, yeah, but how's the food? He goes, oh, food's good. You know, school's good. It's just how people think. And that's who you have to watch out for. So I would say just getting you ready.
So, how do you think about the reason to lead to all the crazy thoughts in the modern life in America?
Say again?
Means that, how do you think about the reasons to lead to all the problem or all the crazy thoughts?
What's the reason?
Depressors or
Politicians.
politicians, really?
Politicians.
How is that?
1%, less than 1% of America is trans. You know what trans is? You're a man, but you think you're a woman. Less than 1%. They also allow kids that are maybe 12 years old, if you think you're trans, you could chop your penis off. You go to a hospital, and they'll make you a woman. And the politicians fall, like some of them will say, oh no, you're depressing us, you're making us feel bad, You're saying it's not true. So that less than 1% of America got to the politicians. And now the politicians are changing laws for this. Now you can be in the army and be a trans. The other day, I don't know if you look on TikTok, put Trans Army America, they had a man as a woman. You join the army, they give a seminar, they talk to you. And this trans woman who's a man is talking about war. Oh, I'm going to get you ready for war. But what's most important before war is your pronouns, he, they, them. So they're more worried about what you call somebody than your life in war. And it's all because of politicians. Lawyers and politicians, nobody likes in America.
So I used to ask one of my colleagues. So he's from America, in California. And he moved here about 10 years ago. So at first he was a programmer in the US. And he told me that. So 3 guys working in this field, one is crazy.
3 guys working from Israel?
Yeah.
And one of them is crazy?
Yeah. So that means, I don't know, but maybe they have to work under very big pressure in the US.
Yeah, no, there's constantly pressure when you go to school, when you go to college, when you go to your job, when you play your sports. Sports are supposed to be fun. I played professional sports. It paid for my college. But there's always, will I lose my scholarship? Will I get kicked off the team? Will I get hurt? So there's always pressure in everything you do. One of my big things is, if you learn to handle your pressure, life will be easier. If you panic a lot and stress a lot, you're going to make a mistake. Because you're going to be afraid to maybe go that one extra step that might turn everything around. So you can't live life in fear, but don't hold yourself back. And, you know, that's important, very important. So
that's mean if you want to make a lot of money in the US, so you don't have time for yourself, right?
I mean, you have time for yourself. You know, when you're off work, what do you do at that time is up to you. Are you too tired? You know, a lot of people work all day and then go to school at night so they can get better opportunity. So you go to work for 10 hours and you go to school for 4 hours, and by the time you get home, it's midnight, you go to bed. You know, you eat something, you go to bed. You do that every day for 4 years. After the 4 years, maybe you get a chance and it pays off. Maybe you don't make it and it didn't pay off. You know, it just depends on the situation, on the person in America.
But American people are cold, party people. That's me.
I don't believe that. Every country have cold people. We're just so stressed out, we don't hold back. You know, we curse a lot. We say bad words a lot to release stress. You go to New York, they say New York people are not nice, like, hey, how do I get here? Yeah, get out of here. No, they're not gonna, you might get 1 or 2 people that do that, but in New York you'll have, okay, you go, and then you do, people are very nice, but just make sure your wallet's still in your pocket after they're done talking to you.
So that's meaning if I want to speak English like a native speaker, I have to use bad words.
Depending on the situation. The F word has several different meanings. It could be a good thing or a bad thing, the F word. I don't want to curse, but the F word can be, that's effing great. That was the effing best food I've ever had.
I do it.
Effing, that was horrible. You know, so it depends how you use it. But it make you feel better. Something has to make you feel better, right? When you work all day, what do you like to do when you go home?
3 of them now in America.
Get some relax.
What do you want to do when you go home?
When you go home, what do you do?
Go to coffee.
So you go to a cafe?
Yes.
Or do you have your coffee at home?
Yes.
At home
At
or a cafe?
At home.
Okay. So at night you drink coffee? How do you sleep? Vietnamese coffee very strong. But he like coffee. Some people drink beer. Some people go right to bed. Some people will say, you know what? I'll sleep when I'm dead, and they go out.
But actually, in movies, American people drink a lot of coffee. But why they say coffee in Vietnam is very strong?
I don't drink coffee. I've had coffee maybe once or twice in my life. I don't like how it tastes or smell, and I'm very hyper. I don't need to be any more hyper. But once you drink 1 cup of coffee, you're going to probably have at least 3 more throughout the day because you're so tired. But people don't understand. You drink 1 coffee, your adrenaline go up, and then you crash. And then you're tired, so you drink another one. So now that coffee only lasts 10 minutes. And then you crash, and I'm tired again. So you get more tired by drinking coffee.
So that's why one of my students asked me, so why American people drink coffee and Vietnamese people also drink coffee? But the difference is, American people drink coffee to wake them up.
Yes.
And Vietnamese people drink coffee
For the taste.
for relax.
Opposite, see, in America, opposite. People drink so they can keep working
Yes.
and stay awake.
And
You're
Vietnamese,
studying at school, they're drinking coffee.
yeah.
You know, put toothpicks in your eyes, you know, so you can just read.
And Vietnamese people, they drink coffee, they stop working.
Or beer. I'm more on the beer side than the coffee side. But yeah, like I said, I don't drink coffee, but from all my friends do that visit, they're like, well, this is so strong. In America, it's so weak because it's cheap. You know, they get all their coffee from Vietnam and Cuba, but America don't have very good coffee, from what I've been told from people. Are you treated fairly and protected? We already did that one. Poor country, money. We did the agricultural.
But they
Number
still
9.
have a money for the living.
Yeah, so I was just reading now. They find it. You need some time to relax. Your vacation might not be 14 days. It might only be 3 days. You know, you work so much and so hard. You by the time you get to your vacation, 3 days is up. You're still tired. You know, but most people, I would say, can't afford vacations. Maybe they'll get a nicer TV or something. But right now, unless you make $80,000 a year for 2 people, you're probably not going on a vacation. And school very expensive. If you have a child, and he go to public school, very expensive. So most families will use their money for kids' schooling.
But actually, American people don't prefer long vacations, right?
They're not allowed to. Most companies, if you start at a company, you have to accumulate. Do you know what accumulate means? To gain, so you have to accumulate hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, get more hours. And after a year, you gain 100 hours and they give you 2 days vacation. If you have a good job, you'll get 7-day vacation.
But actually, if you have very long vacation, when you get back, somebody else can get.
You'll be. If you take, even though you get the vacation, Americans are afraid to take the vacation because they're afraid to lose their job.
Yeah.
That's why I had my own business in America, and that's why I traveled. When I traveled for 3 weeks. I did nothing all year but save my money so I can take off in the summer and travel. But I didn't save money for anything else but to I like traveling. So I always said to myself, as long as I'm traveling, I'm happy, and that's what's important. Money is important, but to me, not everything. Happiness. If you're not happy, you die at a normal age of like 61. If they seem to be more happy, a man will probably die around 72. A man always dies before the woman. You know why? Because you always yell at us. Just kidding. Always yell at us, so we're more stressed out.
Okay. That's 5 p.m. So I think we have
I
all
went
the
over
answers.
all as much as I could. Hopefully I don't scare you, I just prepare you if you go to America.
Yeah.
If it does scare you, good. You be more careful. But never worry, you'll be okay. I suggest if you go to America, just don't go to California or New York. It depends what you like, but stay away from those two states right now. They're very dangerous. Or Washington, D.C. Don't go to the capital. Right now, crime up 500%. So they just shot a politician. So those three places you don't go. Other than that, Texas, Montana, Atlanta, just don't go to Fulton County. Go on the outskirts. Fulton County, very dangerous. But the outskirts mean on the outside. It's very nice. America, very beautiful. It took me 10 days to drive from New Jersey to California. That's how big it is. Maybe you can do it in 8 if you speed. But then you get a ticket, your car get towed. If you go too fast, you go to jail. They got cameras everywhere. So just like an old man driving, and you get there. But America, very nice. Don't want to make you afraid of America. Go visit America. Go visit my favorite state, Florida. It's warm. They have a lot of beaches. It's cheap. They have good public transportation. So Florida, I would say, and Texas is so big, and you can see a lot in Texas. But yeah, that's what I would say. Hopefully, did everybody understand what I said?
No. Yes.
What, did I talk too fast? If I teach again and I talk too fast, say shut up, slow down.
Don't worry. So if they don't understand, they can watch the live stream again.
And if you would like to see some videos about me traveling the world and teaching and things in Vietnam, you can go to my YouTube channel, Hollywood's Journey. And Hollywood's Journey, I have many videos about Vietnam and different countries and stuff like that. Shine, man, shine. You got too many of them on yours.
Hello everybody, welcome to my channel.
They call me Uncle Hollywood because I try to help everybody. But once again, hopefully it was a little entertaining, more than just like a boring blah blah blah. I try to make things funny and give you the right information, not the fake news.
So I love your answers, Jeps.
So I would say goodbye until next time. Stay out of trouble and try to work as hard as you can and go visit America. When you come back, let me know how